Welcome to the Rewarded Consumer Podcast. My name is Michael, and I have a general passion to get more rewards out of my everyday financial activities. I wanted to share this passion with you to help give information on tools that can help get more out of these mundane everyday activities. I am joined today by a group of my friends who also have a similar interest.
Hey, I'm Pete. I'm here to learn and possibly even share useful experiences from my financial decisions as well.
Hi, I'm Stas. I have an interest in technology and finance, so let's explore this world together.
Hi, my name is Jan. I have a technical background, but would like to explore the thoughts that my friends have around financial aspects such as credit cards and other reward programs.
Hey, I'm Alex, aka AG. I'm a novice to cashback consuming, but I'm here to share my experiences and thoughts and hopefully ask some good questions.
Okay, this is the continuation to part 2 of the how we've changed our spending habits in COVID times. So we were finishing last episode talking about grocery delivery and just delivery in general. One thing I wanted to bring in, I didn't have a chance to put my whole 2 spin on it. Actually, it's been less and less desirable to go out for food. As I mentioned earlier, I have a little one on the way, and just the nerve-wrackingness of worrying that maybe somebody might have it there, and just like our whole state has changed their stance on that. Like now you have to be wearing a mask pretty much the whole time at the restaurant almost until you actually eat. It's just like it's not worth it to me. I mean, my wife and I used to always we used to eat in more often or take out more often. But what I've noticed a bunch is a lot of the food prices in general have just gone up. And like by the time I make a decision, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather just make something from at home because I feel like I get more satisfaction. Does anyone get the vibe that you get more satisfaction making stuff at home?
For me, it's never really been about, I think, satisfaction, but more of being able to control what you make, what your food is, instead of just going out to a set menu and eat whatever they make. You can have a little more control over your food, which is nice, and I've always enjoyed kind of cooking that, but I guess I've never been a huge cook. It was more of just being able to do it on my own terms at my house without having to figure out where to go, and that whole process of talking with your wife about where do we eat today.
What Stat is trying to say is that it does bring him satisfaction when he makes those nice steaks at home.
Yeah, sous vide with the afterburner method. So basically you put in this water bath called sous vide for about an hour and a half or so, depending on the cut of meat and how thick it is, how much of it. And then after that, you sear it. And what I like to do is, so I have a charcoal chimney. Normally you use that, to start up the charcoal for your actual grill. But I use this as the grill. So I put a little bit of charcoal in the charcoal chimney, wait for it to heat up a lot, and then I got myself a little grate that I just put on top of it, and maybe 30 seconds per side, and you got yourself a nice seared, perfectly cooked steak.
I would say there is a sense of achievement, though, or something that you must get if you do a good job and you do it yourself. I think that general principle that applies to anything, but it also applies to cooking at home, especially if you don't do that a lot. Then you'd probably feel even more accomplished, like you're learning new things or just being successful at something else.
I would say I'm all about trying to make foods that are new for me and all that, but I'd say there's certain things that I just leave to the pros that I'm just going to be like, you know what? I think they just make it better than I could ever make. It's just anywhere from if you're on the move for a certain type of pizza to certain Asian foods, or there's just certain things that it's just you know what? It's just easier and better if I just have it from somebody else. But for the most part, yes, if you're doing certain food types, steaks, for example, and kind of mastering your skills at that, then yeah, I would say that's great to do at home.
Well, guys, you know what? This has inspired me to think a future episode. I want to do a battle of the kitchen appliances as part of this thing.
Sure.
Are you guys down?
I mean, I suppose we could, but I think we all know who the winner is going to be.
Well, I have my 2 cents. I have a feeling my Ninja Foodie Grill and my Instapot's gonna kill your sous vide.
I guess you're on.
But yeah, no, the whole thing's been interesting, just in general, with getting food and everything else like that. I mean, granted, the one thing I probably can't get at home that my wife craves is big soft pretzel with cheese. She, as I said, she's probably gonna kill me again. She does do our editing, so maybe she'll edit this part out. Who knows? But for her birthday, we always go up to Milwaukee and go up for this big ass pretzel, and that keeps her happy. I'm like, that's why I love the woman. She's simplistic when certain things you want. So that's one thing that, just little things like that you just can't get it. Just it's that experience. Which granted, that's the one thing I do miss. I miss going out to a restaurant and being able to do stuff. But I mean, in this time, if COVID wasn't happening, I still probably would have been a little bit restricted just with with the little one on the way. So I've kind of like come to terms and peace with it. There's just certain things that I do miss. I think grand total, I've been away from my house like 4 days since COVID hit, and basically both times I was either at my in-laws or at my parents' house. Which, that's one thing financially we've had to change, is like our spending habits. We used to go away just to go to, on a hotel probably like once a month, maybe. Go up to Milwaukee, or we can't even go to Wisconsin right now because the city of Chicago has a 14-day quarantine, and we would have to quarantine and it wouldn't work. So I can only go to certain states that don't have a quarantine order if you come back in. My office is still very generous, and they've had a very good generous policy about us working from home, which I guess that's another topic I guess I can bring up, is work from home besides travel. But we can go back to that in a minute. It's just like that. It's curtailed my plans, and I've always been a little nervous. I know it doesn't help things that I have the baby coming, but also I have to worry about my parents who are a little bit older. I don't want to have to keep have to worry about stuff. So I probably have been a little more not as risking as I would have been, or more free willing as I used to be. And that's one thing. And I think that's obviously curtailed my spending overall. So I haven't been going out to eat. I'd probably go out to eat a lot less now because of it, because I don't get it's about the satisfaction. I used to get a great satisfaction going out. It was like a nice break, but now I get more satisfaction of me doing it myself. And I probably, like the other night, we made tacos at home. We had leftover taco shells, and I just found random stuff in the freezer. I had some Lagostina shrimp. I made some guacamole, and we made tacos and pot stickers. It was great. Honestly, pot stickers are plentiful in this house because I just become obsessed with them. I know it's kind of crazy, but they're just good. They're just good, and they're easy to make, especially with my Instapot. So
I don't know. I still feel like going out to eat. It depends on the place. I mean, if it's a place I haven't had in a long time, there can be some very high satisfaction there. So for me, it's pretty close to the same, but obviously there was still a social aspect about going out with friends or family before, so that part is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the takeout stuff, other than it being a little bit more thoughtful on your approach to it, that's the main difference while in the restaurant or the curbside pickup or whatever they do. I mean, guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed this too. Certain places will do like a curbside pickup. You don't even actually ever go inside for certain ones, but I'm saying like certain ones will have like almost like a little tent set up. You're never entering the restaurant. And maybe this is more of a South thing, guys, because I don't know if they're doing that as much in the Midwest because things are a little warmer here. They can do certain things outside, but they have like little tents set up sometimes where that will bring the food from the restaurant and take it out, and they'll just have like a little register outside. So
yeah, I went to a drive-in movie and they had like a Chick-fil-A tent in that lot.
Yeah, I've not really gone out to eat in terms of like sit-down restaurant ever since the quarantine started.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing me and my wife do is we still like to get takeout at least once a week. Generally, we try to keep it at once a week and make food at home the rest of the time. But once a week, just go get takeout, bring it home and eat it, just to have some sense of normality, I guess. Now it's not as big of a deal since it's a bit more open, but when the quarantine started, that was a big thing for us to be able to leave the house once a week, even if it's just to drive somewhere, pick up food, and come back.
Last night I got Thai food, and it was amazing. It was a place I hadn't eaten in a couple of years because we used to live right behind it, and I forgot how good the place was. And you know what? Everything was still very reasonably priced. I had noticed the prices had gone up a little bit, but honestly, it was still very reasonable. I think my thing is I can be price sensitive sometimes, but I don't think it's the only reason I won't go out. It's just, I don't know. As I said, again, I go back to that whole satisfaction thing. Guys, what other activities have we gotten into, like, that change, financially different?
I wasn't doing, I don't really go to the movie. I haven't been to the movies since the beginning of the quarantine or anything like that, even though there's certain ones have opened up and there's drive-in theaters and all that. But I do find myself revisiting parks again, which is a almost free activity. I mean, most of the time it's free. Sometimes there's entrance fees or parking fees, but other than that, I'm trying to kind of maybe through the end of the year visit my fair share of parks and kind of getting out there a little bit more because I've kind of been lacking that the last couple of years. So revisiting things that I haven't done in a little bit, or lost my interest in it, I guess, or all that. So sometimes you kind of revisit things that you have not done in a while when you're kind of put into certain situations. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I actually have a museum membership, a NARM, a North American reciprocal membership, which I can't really use right now. But what I have done, I've done a couple different things. Actually, like last week, Stas and I actually did this together. We spent like $10 a person, and we got the virtual visit into the Neon Museum in Las Vegas, which was actually really cool. And the fact that people are coming up with new creative ways for us to visit a attraction like that, because right now flying and getting to Vegas is just going to be a nightmare and a half in itself. And I know they're trying to reopen, but I still don't think it's just not the time or place. Especially, Vegas is notorious for having smoke everywhere too. So I don't want to bring a pregnant woman around the smoke. But the other thing I have done is I bought a membership to our local botanical garden. I mean, I think it was like $100 for like the year. And once our kid is born, I think it'll be great, take him there, see these beautiful gardens. They have a Japanese garden, they got an English garden, they got a lot of cool things. And it's nice because it's outdoors and it gives you something to do. And they like charge like $25 a car or something like that.
That's
instead
cool.
of charging per person. So it's a really good deal. Yeah. And you have to kind of like time entry. So it's not going to be totally packed because you have to have a ticket in order to get into the parking lot. And if anybody wants to give any more contact, us listeners here, feel free to bring anything you guys want to hear about. So we'll be definitely bringing some more different content, more about credit cards, and we'll be bringing more, just adjustments we've had to be making because, we guys said we're all going through this together, this whole COVID thing. So it's definitely brought up some interesting topics, and who knows if things are going to be changing and how travel is going to be back. Because I know a lot of us like to travel. So we'll try to keep going with this theme, and it's been exciting, and I appreciate everyone who has listened to our podcast, and let's keep it going. Thanks, guys.